Well, there's a little bite in the air this morning. It's starting to get cold. That means it's new bike project time. Hey everyone, Chris from CK Cycles here. Well, I'm waiting on some parts so I can put the CL125 cylinder back on. So I have a little bit of time, and I got myself into another bike that I'm really excited about. You know, ever since I did my series on the CR500 AF, I've had a little bit of an inkling to get into the two-stroke world. If you follow my channel over the last year, you know that pretty much all the bikes that I have been working on lately have been four strokes. And that CR500 AF, boy, you know, that brought the two-stroke back out in me. My first bike was Yamaha DT250, which is an old two-stroke enduro. And I thought, if I'm going to get back into two-strokes again, what better bike would be to restore and to bring back than a DT250? And I found one. Let's go take a look at it. All right, everybody, so here's the DT. This is a 1974 Yamaha DT250. I believe it's an A model. This bike came to me and it's in pretty rough condition. I would say it's probably in similar condition as the Yamaha XT500 that I rebuilt last year. So this is going to be, I think, probably a pretty in-depth restoration on this bike. When I did a first review and a first look over of the bike when I got it home, I noticed, I guess I would say, three main things that were an issue on this bike. Number one, I couldn't shift it out of neutral. And so I was worried, man, what's going on with the transmission? But I was able to find an easy solution to repair that. And I'll do another short video on that repair. And it is now shifting into all 5 gears. Number two, I completed a compression check on the bike. And it came out to be about 60 PSI, which is extremely low in my opinion. So I imagine I'm probably going to have to get into the cylinder and take a look at the rings and make a determination if it needs to be bored out or if a hone with a new set of rings will bring that compression back. You know, I'm not sure. I'll have to get in there and see. And another significant issue on this bike was when I checked it for spark, I was able to get 2 sparks at the spark plug and then no spark after that. And when I opened up the stator cover, I could see why we were having issues getting spark. So this bike is going to need a complete stator rebuild, possibly a replacement flywheel, as the flywheel on this bike is excessively rusted. And I'm not sure if I want to run that flywheel or not. I'm also going to have to replace both crank seals, as I believe this engine had some water in the crankcase. When I drained the crankcase oil, maybe about an ounce of water came out, and that was sitting in the very bottom of the crankcase. So all the water is out of the engine, and I think most of the water may have made it past either this crank seal here and collected in the stator housing, or the stator housing was sealed up with like a silicone type sealer. So there could have been water that got in externally. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe water got into the stator and filled the stator cavity up, and then some water leaked past the seal and into the crankcase. That could be another way I think maybe water could have penetrated into the crankcase. Carburetor looks really good. I took it off and already ran it through my ultrasonic cleaner, and I think the carb is going to be great. But as you can see, the bike is here. The exhaust looks to be in really good condition, and it is original from everything I can tell. It is missing its airbox and the lower side panels here. The tank, it looks like, maybe had a little bit of sealer put on one of the underseams here. I have to look at that more closely. The inside of the tank looks incredible for this bike, but the tank might need some, it might need to be addressed and repaired. And of course the seat is the duct tape special, but the seat pan, it's rusty, but it's in complete condition. So I think that seat pan will be able to be saved, and we'll get some maybe new padding and a new seat cover on this bike, and it'll be ready to go. But otherwise, I think it's got the original suspension on it. You know, there's no turd signals or anything, but the clutch is free. The clutch works. Both brakes are free. Both brakes work. The throttle cable is free, and you know, the slide moves up in the carburetor. So I think this bike is going to be a runner, and I'm going to be excited to get into this one and to get it restored and to get it looking and running just as good as the XT500, if not better. So stay tuned.